Welcome to my weekly self-important Magic the Gathering show. This is the first week of the Hobbit, and who knows how many weeks this will be, since it's not a full set apparently. Although they have Commander product for this set, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check up here. Hobbit Commander, okay. Let's see. Thranduil, the Elven King. He's Sultai, Elf Typal. So when we actually do start doing Elf stuff, or Typal stuff, that's when we'll talk about him. Gandalf, Party Guest, that's Sultai, Wizard Typal. Legendary Wizard Typal, that actually might be mildly more interesting than any other, than just regular Wizard Typal, because I know there's a Wizard Commander who was kind of cool. I don't remember which one it was, but you know, we can find it when we find it. Thranduil, the Strategist. So that was somewhere in the past, compared to the elf when they weren't a king, and before they got black in their color identity. Other elves you control can tap for green or blue, and then you create enough when you do landfall nonsense. So, when we do elf typal during typal times, that could be the Simic elf leader, because turning all your elves into mana dorks to where, even though you'll probably still want to put regular mana dorks in the deck just to get to the 5 mana. Oh, he's 5 mana both times. And you might remember, mono green elves, is that elves was going to be the first thing we did for when we were doing typal stuff. Don't mind this deck. This deck is might go into a filler thing. It was something I saw. No. It was a deck I wanted to make based on cards I saw while making another deck. That's what that's all about. Anyway, stuff on my glasses? Thranduil. Because I put in extra A's in that before. Sindarin Liege. This one's only 4. Still Simic. Elf Lord, he gives all of them +1/+1. Oh, and he does the landfall, get an elf. But he also has an adventure, mill 4 cards that we're never going to do. 2 land cards go into the hand from the milled. Huh. Okay. Again, that's for another day, but I wanted to read them now anyway. Thorin Oakenshield, 2 mana for a 3/2. Uncommon legendary creature, trample. Storied. If you control 3 or more artifacts, legendaries, and or sagas, you have an enduring story for... Okay, so that's historic. So if you have 3 historic permanents, you're storied. As long as you're storied, artifacts and creatures you control have Ward 1. Mildly interesting. I wouldn't build a commander deck around that, but that's neat. Minorly inconvenience your opponents if you're playing Boros Historic. I think I heard someone somewhere saying that they liked that the dwarves in this set kind of played with Lorehold a bit. Where Lorehold was like artifacts and spirits in the graveyard. I do like Lorehold, even though I don't think I ever built a Lorehold deck. Because I'm bad at playing with my graveyard. Thorin, King of Durin's Folk. That's Dwarf Typal. Ooh, but that's a pretty cool one. We're going to read it now. Whenever Thorn or another dwarf you control enters, you get a treasure token, and then other dwarves, not this guy, get +1/+0 for each artifact token you control. That's neat. I mean, you don't, and it doesn't have to be treasures, because that's like a up-down resource, but you can make other treasures that you don't, or other artifact tokens that you don't plan on doing anything with. Nori, Teller of Tales. Okay, that's a bard that gives another creature first strike. Okay, here's a thing that's more regular Boros. And more of a draft awesome thing than a commander awesome thing. 2/1 first strike. Whenever Dwalin enters or attacks, put a home counter on each equipment you control. That's actually slightly better. Home counters grant the equipment additional +1/+0 to equipped creature, so that's cool. And if you have a lot of equipment out, that gets better. I don't think I'm going to make Boros equipment with him as the commander. But if you have a Boros equipment deck already, and you have something in there that you're not super attached to, Dwalin is pretty good. Not great. But like, he can replace something else you weren't too enthusiastic about. Now to remember to put minus is reprint. Okay, yes. So we won't see anything from the other sets if they got reprinted in the Commander product. Boy, that's a lot of accent marks. Dane of the Ancient Halls. Vigilance Haste. Whenever he attacks, he deals damage equal to the number of dwarves he controls each opponent. See, that's the commander right there. Thorn is cool. Actually, they both, either one of them could be the commander.
Legends are made here.
Oh, there's an ad, I think. Energize, Jingle Punks. Biffer, Melodic Rider. He has Storied. You know, that's the thing from Oakenshield down there. Whenever enters or attacks, put a +1 counter on a creature. Okay. He costs 6, by the way, so, yeah. As long as you have the Enduring Story, if an ability of a dwarf you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. Okay, see, that works well with of the Ancient Halls over there, the one that was right before him. Dwarfs are looking better. Tom, Bert, and William. I would do a custom of this, just calling them Tom, Dick, and Harry. Because that's like another threesome. Oh, that's like 3 nobodies. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry. 1, sacrifice another creature, draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature power, then discard a card. Huh. Oh, these are those 3 trolls. And then, when they die, if they were a creature, return them to the battlefield. They're an artifact, no longer a creature. I actually... See, the thing is like, that's a great commander, but I don't think we'd make an interesting deck on top of it. And by we... and by we, I mean me. Okay, so we have the Chief Warg. He has Menace. And he has Ferocious. Whenever you attack while you control a creature power 4 or greater, you draw a card and lose a life. Not a commander, but a great card in another deck. Chief of the Wilds. Wolf Typal. He gets bigger when other wolves come into play. Oh, this is Golgari Wolf typo as opposed to Gruul Wolf typo, which means we could have Jund Wolves, if there are enough wolves in black to be interesting, and a commander that we don't mind probably not being a wolf, because I don't think there's a legendary Jund Wolf. But again, that's in the future. Although this might go from being Hobbit Episode 1 to Typal Episode 1 if we do not find something that we want to build around. Oh, and then he double triggers wolves, which is mildly neat. The Great Goblin, I'm going to assume they're going to care about goblins. Whenever you put one or more counters on a goblin or army you control, I like that part where it says army. I wonder how much amass stuff. Whenever you do that, the Great Goblin deals 2 damage to target opponent. Whenever another goblin, orc, or army you control dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play that until the end of your next turn. Voltron by proxy? Okay, so we are going to... We are actually going to make the Great Goblin. This is kind... We're going to name this deck after something that has nothing to do with the deck. And I was looking up other stuff and didn't. Paste. The Masu. The Great Goblin. I'm going to finish kind of looking through red-black. Okay, Smaug Wicked Worm. When Smaug enters, create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. That's always cool. Whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure row is spent to cast it, you draw a card and lose life. That's actually a really cool card. And you could get a good number of artifacts out of that. Then come into play tap because they learned their lesson from Dockside Extortionists and stuff like that. Hold on. Oh. Scratching the very specific itch. Smaug the Impenetrable, flying, indestructible, haste. Okay. Whenever he's dealt non-combat damage, create that many treasure tokens. That's mildly interesting, but he costs 7 to bring out. Whenever Great Goblin Foul-Hearted enters or attacks, max Goblins 3. Armies control have trample. That's going to make it in the Great Goblin deck, tell you that much. Bolg of the North. When Bolg enters, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, Bolg deals damage equal to that creature's power to another target creature. If excess damage was dealt this way, amass Goblin's X, where X is the excess damage. Oh, we can amass Goblins now. Goblin, so our armies can now be Goblin, Orc, Zombies. Bulg, Erebor's Reckoning. Trample at the beginning of each combat. Other goblins and orcs you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. That's just worth putting into this deck. Is this? Okay, so this deck might have a little bit of Typal in it. Well, I think that's probably gonna be unavoidable. And there's a card that I'm gonna have to look up that I don't think will make it into the deck, but I kind of want it to. Yeah, you have a super printing. Look at that fat, angry little guy.
You're watching a toothbrush play.
He only deals 2 damage to target opponent, and that kind of stinks, but hey, you know, whatever.
Where you can listen to other rare covers of your favorite songs. And, of course, the original. Duh. Get YouTube Music Premium.
Whoops. I'm clicking this just to see if we're missing any amasses in other colors. Blue. There's 1 blue amass card. 2, 3, 4, 5 blue, 6 blue amass cards. 7, 8, because this one's 2 color. 9. 10. 11, 12. This one's a game changer, so he ain't making it into the deck anyway. 13, 14. Ah, yeah. We could do a Sauron Lord of the Rings or Sauron the Dark Lord. Or Saruman the White Hand. If we wanted to do all 3 colors for amassing armies. But do we want to... I think I'd want to focus on just the 2 colors. Because now I'm wondering... Because now we're doing a... Do I care about the ones that are in blue? Okay, so this is a flyer for 2/2 that amasses 1.
Orders roll in, deadlines close. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep
this is a sorcery bound spell that amasses 1.
Secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking,
this amasses the number of cards in your hand.
you run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
This amass orcs 3 whenever it deals combat damage to a player. And it can also make itself unblockable, or an orc or a goblin. This is a counter spell that amasses. This is a shrink spell that amasses 1. This gives our army flying, but it costs 5. This amass 1, and gives all of our permanents hexproof until end of turn. Amass 3, that's all it does, it's a sorcery. Counterspell, Amass Orcs. Oh, the arena version of Orcish Bowmaster, that isn't going to have the thing. Thankfully, that's the only arena card. This returns a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and then amasses goblins once, and then you can pay to give goblins and orcs menace. Oh wait, these are in black. I don't even know I'm reading those. Treason of Isengard. Recurs a instant or sorcery to mass orcs 2. Mass orcs 3, and then someone mills equal to your army's power. Saruman gets you a mass orcs 2 on second spellcast, but he costs 5. See, that's... I go to the casting cost, and I'm like, oh, that could have been a good one. So the 2 good ones cost 5. And heck, I don't really think Saruman the White is as good as the Skylord sitting on the field and giving your army flying. And even then, that's not really good for the army deck. That's good for the zombie deck where you're making zombie tokens. Then we go into the future to the gold cards. Enter the God Eternals. Amasses 4. Drains for 4. Target player mills 4. And amass 4. Yeah. Zombie tokens have hexproof and menace. Again, that's more for a zombie deck than for the army deck. Whenever you discard a card, you may pay 1. If you do, amass 2. That's interesting, but I don't think we'll be discarding that much. Mouth of Sauron. Causes mill, and then you amass equal to the number of instants and sorceries in their graveyard. And then all of these get to go in. Oh, there we go. Invade the city, because amass X, or is the under instants and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Summons a Saruman, amass Ors X, then mill X. Then cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value X or less from among the milled cards without paying its mana cost. And there's the Saruman, and I imagine the very last thing will be Saruman. Oh, and Barad-dûr. Yeah, we do not need the blue amass stuff. That wasn't really interesting. Like, there was one. No, I guess the ones that were for that said your zombie tokens get something. Those were interesting, but not for this deck. So let's start looking through this stuff. Oh, that's the one that returns a thing. When Azog enters, destroy up to 1 other target creature. Oh yeah, it's a controller amasses Goblins X, where X is the power of that creature's power. If you control that creature, you draw a card. I got a lot of use out of this when I played Draft exactly 1 time on Arena. I only needed to get to 3 wins, and I got to 3 wins. I was playing mono black. And that made me it makes me happy when I draft 1 color and do good enough. But this thing put in some work. Like, getting rid of flying creatures to get out of the way of my flying creatures. 1 creature gets -2/-2, amass orcs 2, or amass 2. Oh, that's right. It doesn't say amass zombies anymore. It's just... Oh, wait, no, this is an old one. Never mind. This is War of the Spark. We don't really need that. Down to Goblin Town. Down to Goblin Town. Target opponent reveals their hand. Nope, we don't like making people discard. Oh, amass. Like, these are usually bad ideas, but I love amassing one for free at the beginning of our upkeeps. And whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks against lifelink until end of turn. That's all I care about. Well, that and, again, the free amass at the beginning of every turn. Dunland Krebang. It enters, you amass orcs 2. Well, sure. This amass orcs 1 when it dies, that's fine. Like, I didn't say I was making a strong deck. Return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, then amass goblins 3. I don't know how much removing stuff from our own graveyard we'll be doing.
Season is here. Catch the action.
But I'm definitely going to think about it along the crooked way when we go forth. Gothmog, Morgul Lieutenant. When he enters, we amass orcs 1. Creature tokens we control have Death Touch. That's fine. Great ugly looking goblin. He has an adventure to amass goblins 2. And then each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has Menace. He costs 6, but, you know, getting Menace on our army ain't bad. Grima Wormtongue. Your opponents can't gain life. That's just nice. Sacrifice another creature. Target player loses 1 life. If the sacrificed creature was legendary, we amass orcs 2. If we get any repeatable... Oh, I might actually put that in here. Repeatable way of get Call of the Ring out at the same time. Also, I just like the idea of our opponents can't gain life. So, Herald of the Dread Horde. When it dies, you amass 2. That's not as cool as the other guy that dies, because he only amasses 1, but he also costs half as much, so I'm not keen on Herald of the Dread Horde. Enters, amass 1. Huh. Lazartev's Sliver, that is wild. Sliver creatures you control have Afflict too. That's just good in the Sliver deck. I don't care who you are. March from the Black Gate. When it enters the battlefield and whenever an army you control attacks. And, oh, that's cool because then this makes sure we never run out of army. And this doubles the size of our army as soon as they attack, so that's cool. What song is this? The Chase, Topher Moore and Alex Enna. It just sounds really good from what little I can hear of it at my volume setting. Technically, this Reaver is better than this. Because getting it on entry is better than getting it on leaving. But that's the thing we can come back to once we get further on in the deck. When Mindless Conscription enters the battlefield, and whenever you draw your 3rd card each turn, amass zombies 3. I don't think we're drawing that many cards. What is? Because that's impulsive draw on our commander. Mortar Muster, draw a card, lose a life, amass orcs 1. That is a draft. Not bad card. You either put a +1/+1 counter on something, or get a 1/1, and then you draw a card, even if you lose a life. Lifelink or construct 1 ton of stern amass orcs 1. I'm not much for combat tricks. Rage into the Valley. I actually played that a lot during the draft. Draw a card, lose a life, amass goblins 2. Rovanian Rampager. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put a number +1/+1 counters on this creature equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Okay. When this creature dies, you amass goblins X equal to its power. I actually think that's neat. A creature that replaces itself. The Torment of Golem, that you make someone discard and then you amass. Toll of the Invasion, that you make them discard and you amass. Vizier of the Scorpion. Zombie tokens you control have Death Touch. That is one cheaper than Gothmog. And he does, and this guy does make our, because you gain all the creature types of whichever specific amass happens, so that's fine. Death Touch on our zombie token. Even though I said about the blue one that it is better in just a zombie deck, we don't actually have a lot of options for the deck in the first place. Orcs and Goblins have Menace. Oh, in the beginning of combat on return, we get amass Orcs too, so that's cool. He's 5, but that's fine. I'm just saying that we don't need to go into blue to add flying. Assault on Osgoliath. Amass Orcs X, then Goblins and Orcs you control gain double strike until end of turn. Boy, that... it's a sorcery. I mean, I guess it has to be.
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
But giving all of our stuff double strike and haste.
Get HBO Max and more streaming channels to watch your favorites on YouTube.
Ugh. The Book of Marsbol? We mass orcs, and then we mass orcs. I don't know if it's worth waiting for that. Bothersome Noisemaker, we get amass goblins for non-creature spells. This gives our army trample, that's good with the Death Touch. Fall of Care Andros. Whenever a creature an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, amass Orcs X, where that was the excess damage. I'm going to look into that. It has to be non-combat damage, though. Foray of Orcs. Mass Orcs 2. Oh, actually I like this. Mass Orcs 2, especially if we happen to have the fall of this in play. When you do, Foray of Orcs deals X damage to target creature and opponent controls, so it only hurts creatures, speeds and removal. Where X is the amassed army's power. So that's fun. I'm also actually interested in that. The double strike and haste. Goblin Roan Flunk. Oh, Goblin Town Flunkies. When it enters, you mass Orcs 1. Okay, well that's fine. And he has haste. When this dies, we amass the... Nah. Grishnak. Brash Instigator. When he enters, we amass Orcs 2. Oh, and then we tempt gain control something equal to the power of the army. I'm normally okay with the temp control, but I'm not gonna do that. Honor the God Pharaoh. Discard a card. Draw 2 cards. Amass 1. Yeah. Better Dura is going to go into the deck. Hydra, Huma Huma. I think I pointed that one out before because I like how wispy it is. Widespread Brutality. Amass 2, then the army you amass deals combat damage equals power to each non-army creature. That's mildly interesting. I mean, it could take out my own stuff, but I'm honestly interested in it. Sagrat Loot Bearer. When he attacks, you can attach equipment to it. Then you amass equal to the amount of equipment attached to him. I feel like that's its own deck. Moria Scavenger. He has Death Touch and Haste. Discard a card, draw a card. If the discarded card was a creature, amass Orcs 1. I don't mind having a Rummager in the deck. Especially since you can do it right away and he has Death Touch for if you want to block with him. Great Goblin Foul-Hearted. When he enters or attacks, he amass 3, and that gives us our army's trample. Goblin Plate Mail. Oh, yo, Mass Goblins 1. Okay, that explains. I've seen this in the draft. Oh, and then equipped creature has 1/0 and Menace. So it free attaches to the thing. Might do this. I might.
The YouTube Music app has ad-free playlists.
I think I'm going to put him in there for fun. Because there might be a non-zero more equipment in the deck. Fearsome Goblin Pair. When they die, you amass 4, so that's kind of cool. Alright, Bulg of the North, sacrifice a creature, excess damage dealt, get some goblins. All of our creatures have Menace, and then we can get 2 amass 2s out of it. Assuming Angrath never gets attacked. Sure, we'll throw Angrath in here. Water Beast of Gorgoroth. Whenever he or another creature you control with power 4 or greater dies, amass Orcs 2. You know what? Tidings of War, Mass Goblins 1. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, Mass Goblins 3 instead. That's just because of the flashback cost. I don't hate it. It gives us a 1/1 on our first turn and a place to start. Treasure Token to Mass Orcs 2. Whenever you attack, amass Goblins 2. And this thing is just a 4/5 that when he enters, you amass 2. So I'm not too psyched on that. you an evasion. Put you in evasion. Put you in tokens. We'll put you in evasion since trample is kind of like evasion. That's removal. That is tokens. That is tokens. That's optionally removal. It says tokens, but I think all of these are amass, 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 murder. It has to be called a mass. Because if we get other things that do different things for tokens, let's get our lands in order.
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
You will suffer. Not if you all die.
Buy or rent new releases and get more streaming services to watch your favorites on YouTube.
Good old Arena of Glory. Anti's Hollow because there's a non-zero chance we're going to have a Goblin in our hand. Blood Crypt. Verge. I don't know if we need coffers. Proctor, Topher Moore, and Alex Elena. They have a lot of good songs, apparently. at least they do a lot of good renditions of public domain songs I've never heard of. I don't know what their deal is, never heard of them. But the music they make is to my liking, regardless of its origin. I don't even think surveilling is better than scrying, but I like having land types. Even if I'm not using fetches. Where are we online? Oh, we're at 35. So the Doo Doo Poo Poo Land command tower, that'll go in for 36. And we'll pretend sulfurous rings isn't a bad idea. Yes, I'm still listening. Whiskey, huma huma, huma huma. Like, part of me feels like I should go back to Amass and totally bracket one and put all of those cards in. Metallic Mimic, because that's funny. That's the one where you name a creature type, and you just, nah, we don't need that. But we're going to do Orcus Siege Master. He has Trample. He's an 0/5 with Trample, that's funny. Other orcs and goblins you control have Trample. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets +X/+0 on the turn where X is the greatest power amongst creatures you control. Which, you know, probably our army. We're going to go up here. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a number of, put a +1 on him. See, I don't know how much of that stuff. If one or more +1/+1 counters we put on an army, goblin, or orc you control, you just get an additional one. That's fine. Oh, that is mildly interesting. Scuzzback Scrounger. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight one. That's put a -1/-1 counter on one of your things. If you do, you get a treasure token. I just think that's kind of neat, because we can make one of our armies slightly smaller for a treasure. Oh, Torian Mauler, because it counts as an army, that gets bigger just from our opponents casting spells. Oh, the Zombie Goblin Widower. Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, create a treasure. That's always fun. Champion of the Weird is kind of neat. This Goblin Berserker, where we can blight to our own stuff to make our opponents blight stuff. This will damage one of our opponents for 2. And maybe someone have a conniption fit for having to pay 2 life to get rid of it.
Okay, you're watching YouTube, but did you know there's a YouTube music?
I'm not leaning into the Goblin stuff, I more want to lean into the Amass stuff.
Get YouTube Music Premium.
Sacrifice another creature or artifact, sell the top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next turn. Activate only your turn and only once a turn. You know, even if it's only once a turn. Yeah, the Soul Ring, the Arcsight, the Talisman of Indulgence, and the Rakdos Signet. Yeah, the Greaves. I don't see. We're not doing a whole lot of the 1/1 creature thing, so I don't know about Skull Clamp. Not unless that actually might be kind of a fail state, where if our armies aren't getting that big, we can at least get value out of them. Wait. Orcrist Goblin Cleaver. Equipped creature gets +2 plus has trample. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, choose a creature type. Create a treasure token for each creature you control of that type. We're trying not to make a typo deck that has a whole lot of different types, but I do think that's neat. The boots. If we go here, no, yeah, we have to actually do this. No, we have to go here to clear it out. And then go down to the bottom to see if anything new snuck in at the bottom. Yeah, nope, okay. They really wanted it to be Goblin typal. Even as impact trimmers, yeah, it definitely wanted to go in a different route. Or other people were going in a different route. I do like simple old terminate. Grange Party by Huma Huma. You know, I am gonna do some bracket one nonsense. Oh, but actually when. Oh, mass or O army. Whenever a creature card leaves your graveyard, mass goblins 1. Which we get that first one off of this. We even do Bleeding Edge, even though it's a objectively bad card. I'm just watching out for the ones that make our opponents discard or oh, that's interesting. Grond the Gatebreaker doesn't need to be crewed as long as you control an army. I still don't think I'm going to be drawing 3 cards a turn for Mindless Conscription. Not in these colors.
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
There will be no doubt who gods have chosen to rule.
Get HBO Max.
And of course, we're not putting that one in.
Channels to watch your favorites on YouTube.
There we go. Because it's a game changer. Okay, you're technically draw. You are vaguely ramp. You are a mass. Whoops, that has discard on it. You're more evasion than you are a mass. That is not a sack outlet. I'm going to hide you in protection because it amuses me. We're gonna put you into a mass because you do not draw enough cards for me to care. Oh, same thing with this because cantripping is not card draw. I'm also going to hide you in a mass. Mostly so I don't have to, we're hiding you in a mass because that's not making enough. Now we're at 96, and that was some real bracket 1 behavior. We do have a non-zero number of goblins and orcs in this deck. The funny thing, where's that one thing? Hold on. This guy? No. I think he's in here. I just don't remember. You? No. Nope. There was one of these. Yeah, this one that where if you sacrifice an army to this, as long as this thing doesn't get exiled and just dies normally, you get that amount of army back. So that's kind of cool. What is my? Yeah, we're kind of low to the ground for what it's worth. Low on removal, that's fine for bracket 1. With four cards left, that's what I'm feeling. Now we're putting in a $60 Buster Sword because that is funny. Because that draws us a card and casts us a spell for free. Especially if we go, it takes an entire army to carry the Buster Sword. That's the whole reason why that's in there. But now, for the last three, equip O +1 counter. Whenever a creature attacks, put a +1 counter on each creature you control. Oh, I see. Yeah, because then that puts it on the on the thing. So we want that. I do also want that. I do like the Panther Habit. If equipped creature would be dealt damage, prevent that damage, and put that many +1/+1 counters on it. I also might be taking stuff out of this deck because I'm liking this Lost Jite and the Pit Boy. Huh. And this Ring of Valkis is kind of funny. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature if it's red.
Baseball season is here.
And then there's one for
Catch the
black.
action live with game day features.
Whenever a creature attacks,
stats, view, and more from the best seat in the house. YouTube TV. Try it free. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.
oh, the Aether Spark is, you know, generic good card. This thing's coming down out of bracket 2, or out of bracket 1, I should say. We will unset and let it be estimated. Actually, that is protection. Well, Sword of Hours is a 1 in 12 chance of being better than the Armory of Iroas up over here. Well, maybe we don't need this one. So that takes out 2 other things. Yep, okay, so... Okay, I don't think I'm doing a whole lot of non-combat damage in this deck, so that can come out. Let's create a treasure token and amass Orcs 2. Not attached to that. Oh, there we go. This deck is, like, I know I put a couple of good cards in here. But, yeah, this thing's probably still bracket 2. I do like it. So that happened. And yeah, I don't really think adding blue would just give us a powerful commander and like access. Whoops. And like access to some blue cards. I'm gonna check one more thing actually. Oh, army. So it's, yeah. So nothing new that says army. Yeah, like, we could do this deck again with Sauron the Dark Lord. Which I don't know if we ever made a deck for him. I don't think we did because this set had come and gone by the time I started my show. Fairly certain. I mean, we can check. Oh, I did make a deck for him. What do we do with the Lord of the Rings? Oh, I see we went in a lot of directions. Call of the Ring, Nasty End. This thing's also... Oh, the Maybe board has a bunch of stuff in it.
On YouTube, catch the best pro golfers.
I'm like, why is it bracket 2? No, it's bracket 2 because of the Maybe board. We can dump you. We can dump you. And you might be able to talk people into letting this be bracket 2 with the one ring in it, if they know the rest of the deck. Orcish Siege Master. The Mouth of Sauron, even though you make someone mill. You can always just pick someone with the least amount. And then I think I have all of the actual Saurons in here. Yep. Oh, and Palace Siege, because that amuses me. Over the Nazgul, and... Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, this deck isn't all about the armies. It is kind of mildly trying to be like a more all-around Sauron, you know, stuff he cares about thing. Yeah, so I respect that. And the Masu can be moved into past episodes. Anyway, so now we are on to Azorius, Bard the Bowman. He is an archer, but not also a bard, because bard is his name, not his job. Reach, whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, gain lifelink until end of turn. That's mildly interesting. Bard, King of Dale. He has gained a 3/5 instead of a 1/3, and he has gained vigilance in addition to reach. If you would draw a card, except for the first one you draw on each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. Okay. Well, he also costs twice as much. At least he didn't double the colored pips. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many are... Oh, actually, I really like him. I mean, he's expensive as all heck, but he's cool. Oh, hey, look, there's a third bard. All of the Azorius bards are the same guy. Heir of Girion. Oh, this must be him in the... like, in between his two. So it goes 3, 4, 6. Other creatures get ++1, and whenever you attack, draw a card. Actually, that's cool and good. I really don't know what I would do with Azorius. But I can, like, talk it out. Propaganda of Ghostly Prison. Stuff that cares about me drawing my second card. Well, hey, look, both of the other bards would be in the deck. And then maybe we would do something about creating tokens. I'm going to drink the last of the water that I have in this jug. Okay, now my dumb butt wants to make this deck. New deck. Come on. Bard's Tale. Because his name is Bard. So they have book cover versions, that's cool. Bard's Company. You may cast the spell as though it had flash if you control a human. Okay. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Okay, that's always nice. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, recruit. Okay. Draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card... so this is Connive, but for creature tokens. I'm going to look up recruit.
The 5-star weekend.
Since one of our guys lets us draw additional cards when we draw.
On YouTube.
So drawing more than you discard sounds like a good thing. When this enchantment enters, for each opponent, exile up to one target non-land permanent that player controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. And then when this enchantment enters, recruit. Celebrate the Mountain King. Well, it is certainly a good song. Esgaroth Garrison. Power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control. When it enters, recruit. When Great Gilded Boat. Whenever you attack, you recruit. Lake Town Lookout. When it enters, recruit. Long Lake Nuisance. When it enters, recruit. Huh. When this creature enters, recruit. Counter target spell. If it was 2 or less, mana value 2 or less, you recruit. Mountain King's Return, recruit. Turn card, creature card, Sun Titan. And +1/+1 counter a creature. Queen of the Dale. When an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, you can recruit. I don't know how much recruiting I want. What's funny is that it starts with looting. Conniving also starts with looting. Neither starts with rummaging. I don't... Part of me wants all of these, except for the counterspell and the Mountain King's Return. Yeah, we don't need to recruit that often. But I do want the Queen since we have the King. And the fact that that bird recruits is weird. Yeah, we don't need any of this other recruit stuff. But let's put in our standard... Well, let's get our land first. And then we're going to put in our standard Azorius nonsense package. Like, not all of it. Like, we're not putting in, like, the Arbiter. Wastes, just in case. Azorius Chancery. Two or more other lands. The Sky Ruin, just in case, because I do like it. The Verge. I don't know how many soldiers we're gonna have for the fortified beachhead. Plains or Island. There. Control
Watch
the basic.
hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
Boxing is a criminal enterprise. Always has been.
The one that you can cycle.
Get stars and more streaming services to watch your
Okay, if that's
favorites
that,
on
what was this
YouTube.
other one that I put in? Oh, that's the 2 life one. Okay. You know what? Minas Tirith. Oh, Jingle Punks again, the framework. Oh, Ozurtak because there's going to be a little sub-theme of creating creature tokens. The Star Trek lands, for what it's worth, look cool. But I guess this is where I have to say I like Star Trek, but it's just weird that it's going to be in a Magic set. I try not to get too butthurt about Universes Beyond, though. It's making them money, and an Azorius Merfolk card. I keep forgetting about the Wanderwine Hub. Huh. Let's throw in a command tower. Still Marvel. We're just going to have a section for double things that double things. Parts Company goes in tokens. This goes in counters. And this goes in tokens. Okay, now Council for Trouble in Pairs. Whenever a player draws their second card during their turn, you draw a card. Whenever a player casts their second spell during their turn, you get a 2/2 White Knight. If an opponent would get an extra turn, that part don't matter for us. They skip it instead. Whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card, or casts their second spell, we draw a card. Then, of course, we want Mangar the Diplomat. Though, even though I haven't been doing this a whole lot, we're ding. Whenever an opponent attacks with a creature, 2 or more are attacking us, we draw a card, or a Planeswalker control. Whenever they cast their second spell, draw a card. It's like, oh, you're having fun, let me have a tiny bit of fun as well. I know I didn't do that for my lands. It's like Star Trek and random stuff. Huh, wonder what happened there. Brrr. Ah. We're not doing Anointed Procession because there's all these other things. Like there's Elspeth Storm Slayer. Yeah, let's pretend we're gonna buy a $100 card. That is cool as heck looking though. Because she doubles tokens, but she's also a planeswalker with other abilities, like creating a token, or giving all your creatures flying, and +1/+1 counter, and also destroying a big creature your opponent has. Then there's the Sunborn, that is a flying lifelink 4/5. $85 card. Look at that. That's great art, though. Macaron, I assume. Macoron. Mondrak at least has the decency to be a potentially indestructible 4/4. And we're also going to sneak in Divine Visitation. So that way when we make dumb tokens, we get good tokens instead. The angels in Marvel's Divine Visitation look a lot like Lazotep zombies. Oh, we gotta have the $25 waifu version. Can you be... Unlike those other cards, that can be non-foiled. Now we do need more things that, that make tokens. And more things that draw us cards, of course. Although, our commander draws us cards. We also actually do feel heavily invested in protecting our commander, now that I'm thinking about it. Though we only draw one card a turn, and he is an Anthem with Reach Vigilance. I don't know how targeted he would be. I don't know. Well, that's probably a meta call. How good your opponent, your play group is at getting rid of your commander if they think he's a problem. You draw your second. We don't need the card because there's only one word that can go after that. Oh, we got stopped again. Elephants by Huma Huma. Whenever you draw your second card, you get a Drake. And then if for some reason we're drawing our fifth card, our Drakes get super big. Daughter of the Deep gets us a Merfolk. And we can make Merfolk unblockable. I'd rather this 2/2 flyer. That fifth card thing, never count. Don't count on it, ever. But hey, getting flyers, getting things with evasion. Whenever you draw your second card, you get a detective. Right? But those detectives can be unblockable as long as we have the city's blessing, so This is called removal bait. This feels like the colors are more vibrant in the Jumpstart version. It's extended art, if I'm not mistaken. That's Eldrazi. Plus one plus counter don't count. This guy has flying, investigates the number of times for the number of opponents we have. We also get a 1/1 with flying, so that ain't the worst. There we go. The potentially get people to scoop card. I don't know if it's nearly as annoying as the land barf beetles. Oh, the wily illusionist. We can potentially, theoretically, cast a free spell with these illusions. Oh, a garbage creature with flying. It's still a creature with flying. Oh, this makes flying Thopters. This gets us a white human. Tiger Seal can block as long as we've drawn our second card each turn. That's funny. It's a bunch of silly little boys creating counters for drawing our second card. I think the only one I rejected, besides because Eldrazi, was the one for Merfolk. Which is sad, because look at her. But some of these other token makers might come out. Who knows? That was really everything that was draw your second card? Oh, who's that one guy? Legend set order the LTR, right? Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Ring. Oh, and Anduril, Flame of the West, actually. It's kind of good for this. +3/+1, and you get 2 tapped white spirit creature tokens. There we go. Prince Faramir. That's the one where you either draw a card or get 3 soldiers.
With the YouTube Music app, you can blend up to 30
We're grabbing
artists into one big custom
mirror
radio station,
coat while we're
which
here.
means now your thumb is basically a tiny little DJ. Get YouTube Music Premium. Try 1 month free.
Man, that's a lot of cool printings. To anyone who's still mad that that all these people of color in Lord of the Rings, stay mad. It amuses me. It's funny I put that in there when I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to protect stuff, but now I'm like, maybe I do want to protect stuff. Whenever acquisition octopus or equip creature deals damage combat damage way, draw a card. I don't need to discard cards. If I wanted to discard cards, I put in those recruit cards. Of course we're gonna bust our sword. This thing's ridiculous. $100 card, go for it. Great art. I like Final Fantasy 6 better than 7. 9 better than 7. I don't think I can say nice things about 8. It's better than that, but also worse than that. I have not played the Final Fantasy VII remakes, but I am fairly certain I would rate them very highly once I get around to them. Oh, 4 Mirrodin actually is kind of neat for this deck. Ooh, this is a cheap one too. And it allows us to draw. Oh, I meant to do this.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube.
Scry 1, then draw a card. Sure, why not?
Ad-free videos on the YouTube Kids app, so kids can bounce the Kids Bop without missing a beat. Try 1 month free.
I do like the Infiltrator lens on principle, so we'll put that in here. Whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. Cheaper to equip to a shaman, warlock, or wizard. Skull Clamp because of the off chance that we won't have Divine Visitation in play and we make a lot of 1/1s. We gotta make a lot more 1/1s. Draw a card if you control 3 or more attacking creatures. Oh, Aether Spark, just, you know, generic good card. Oh, Thief's Knife, it has Job Select. Vibranium Strike Gauntlets. Whenever Blade of Shared Souls becomes attached to a creature, for as long as Blade of Souls remains attached to it, you may have that creature become a copy of another target creature you control. I don't know how good that'll be in this deck. Okay, you go into card draw. Our card draw section is pretty big, but a lot of it is you know, conditional. Where are we at? We're at 71. I'm not really doing anything with removal, am I? Yet. Like I said, some things might come out. Like, now that I see this, I do like that it has a Scry 1. That creates a token. I don't get to use this a lot, so I'm going to use it. Creates a token that scries. I think we're going to -1 the Rogue's Gloves. Acquisition Octopus is a creature by itself. Thief's Knives creates a creature. Aether Spark does a bunch of good stuff. Also can draw 2 cards. You know what? We can remove the Strike Gauntlets. Nice. We're gonna want, even though that's not our commander, we're still probably going to want more token stuff. Mostly because it's fun. Let's see. Yeah, we kind of have a lot of... I don't know about this one, because we have a lot of legendary things. +0/+1. Creature gets flying. It's also really expensive. Up here expensive. Kimbo's Banner. +1/+1 for each creature you control. That could be a high number. But it is 4. Job select. Is a wizard. Cast non-creature spell or draw your 3rd card. +1/+1 counter. Is a wizard. Copy an instant or sorcery from the defending player's graveyard. Cast it for 3 generic. That's just interesting. This is going in the deck because it's interesting, not because it's good. And it's going into... We're actually going to have a job select category. Get a job. Even if only 2 things go in it, I thought that was a neat enough thing. Oh, this gives our commander lifelink in addition to the creature itself. Our commander is a 4/4 with vigilance, so that's nothing to sneeze at. So sure. Get a job. I like how it says other commander creatures, so we don't equip it to our commander, we equip it to anybody else. Machinist Arsenal for each artifact you control. Monk's Fists. Nope. No. This gives something else. It itself or something else. Pseudo vigilance.
Buy or rent new releases.
No. Okay.
And get more streaming channels to watch your favorites on YouTube.
I actually kind of decided I wanted the banner. I'm going to put my triple up into double up. People can get mad at me later. Because I kind of realized that I want to take those out because they are not making tokens. They are increasing. Okay, we'll call it multiply. We'll call it multiply. And then you go into tokens. Divine Visitation doesn't make tokens. It only changes the tokens that get made. We are now at 72.
Check out our new song, This and That, on YouTube and YouTube Shorts. Your one-stop shop for music.
Get a job for Mirrodin. Mirrodin. Oh. Boo. I don't know which. Get a job for Mirrodin. There we go. Just because it amuses me. Second card. Second card. We have 8 things that care about our second card. There are other things that say whenever you draw a card, but a lot of that is just is put +1 counters on stuff. Whenever you draw. Or make an opponent's mill. Although at least Chasm Skulker explodes into creature tokens, so you get to make it. Though it's going to be whatever the heck this thing is. That thing gets to be the Chasm Skulker. If we were doing stuff with +1 counters, Baxter Flying the Ointment would be good because it gives our creatures +1 counters flying. Whenever this creature attacks, draw a card. Boy, I don't think Dreamcrawler's that good anymore. Flying Lifelink though. And he does draw you, or they would draw you your third card. You know what? It's not a great card. But let's put this 5-mana 3/5 Flying Lifelink into our deck anyway. Oh, this is a better Baxter Stockman. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1 counter on any creature. And then when he attacks, your other modified creatures gain flying. We're not doing anything with that, I just was pointing it out. Lady Octopus can play artifacts for free, depending on how ingenuitous she is.
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
You will suffer. Not if you all die.
Buy or rent new releases and get more streaming services to watch your favorites on YouTube.
This Otter Penguin getting unblockable isn't the worst. Especially since it becomes unblockable as soon as you attack. And no, I'm not going to the easy route of Psychosis Crawler. I am going to... Oh, there's still more. Flying. Oh, we can pay 1. You know what? I don't mind paying 1. Because this thing gets bigger, but we also get a tentacle. I want to see if there's anything besides the... Just the otter penguin with that specific series of wording. That is evasion. Second card token, just so people don't ask why not other thing in that spot. I think I'll put the boots. And the greaves. Let's go. Oh, that is not the correct boots. There we go. That's what happens when you don't look.
Get YouTube Music Premium with this toggle thingy.
Dang it. I want to look down for whichever one's made into the Hobbit. But I think it might be the other ones that made it into the Hobbit with the unflattering feet. This is so funny. But I'm partial to these. I'm gonna look at a message really quick. Okay, nothing I have to reply to, but good to know. Europa. And the prison. We'll leave vote for Loki. But I will look at these. I didn't change it last time I put it in. Oh, even though this guy just having a bad day is a good one. And we're at 80. We do have 22 creatures. I just kind of wanted to check that. I do. Let's see. We have a lot of ways to do card draw. I highly doubt I want to put anything from here into this deck. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. I'll see these ones don't stick around. They're automatically tapped into attacking. Oh, Belladonna Took is actually really good. Check this out. Whenever a token you control enters, you gain a life if it's the first time this ability is resolved this turn. If it's the second time you draw a card. If it's the third time, put a +1 counter on all of your creatures. Yes, please, and thank you. I'm all over that. But again, we need more things that put in creatures. You know what? That makes this look better. Put in the Hero of Light. Because This triggers that. And you get all three of the things. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you may choose one. You get 2 humans. Oh, that's actually really good. Not entirely 100% sure what's going on this picture. Battleground by Ethan Makesill. I think that's what that said. They're like, no, really, put Daughter of the Deep in. This gets you a free creature each turn. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. That is kind of on the list of standard issue baloney that I forgot about. Whenever a legendary creature with mana value 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you become the monarch. I'm not too worried about that. Voice of Victory, mobilize 2. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Yeah, I get it. Oh, Crackerhoof Behemoth.
On YouTube. We have to kill the imposter. Get Paramount Plus and more
This is
streaming
nonsense.
services to watch your favorites on YouTube.
Not entirely sure on Krang. Okay, it is funny that everyone else is like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna have those other bards in here. Because we're gonna make tokens. Whenever one or more tokens enter, you may draw a card. I do need more things that make tokens, though. Thought Vessel just in case. Where are we? 91. Six pieces of ramp. That's probably fine. Oh, what the heck was Unsettle the Wreckage called? It's in the main set. Oh, it's like the Eagles are coming, right? No. Settle the Wreckage was in the main set. Oh wait, no, it's MV2. With an overload of 4. The Eagles are coming. Choose target creature you control. Oh, first let's fancy it up. Boom. Choose target creature you own. If this spell is kicked, instead choose any number of target creatures you own. Return each creature chosen this way to your hand. At the beginning of the next upkeep, create a 4/4 white bird soldier creature token with flying for each creature returned to your hand this way. They called this Unsettle the Wreckage. Or someone way funnier than me called it that. We're going to pretend you are draw. Actually, to not hide you, we are going to be aspirational and put you in counters. Boy, it's sure am asking me if I'm rubbernecking Topher Moore and Alex Selena. Sure are asking me a lot today. We're doing Clone Legion. And we are putting that down in tokens. And you go in protection. We are not doing alternate language stuff. Some token removal at the end of this deck. Erode. Path to Exile. I think I'm going to go all with the white ones. Swords to Plowshares. And Unwanted Remake. That puts us at 100. Mostly about drawing cards. Hopefully we get some of our token makers. With our token doublers. Or tripler. But we'll see. This deck could probably lean into its theme more. But, you know, it is what it is. For something that I kind of made on a lark. And honestly, if it inspires you to make a better deck than me, go for it. I know we're like at 2-something hours. 2.5 hours. We're going to keep going. Because it's not a very big set. Look at that. We're already done with gold. The Notary Hobbits, 5 mana for a 1/1. When they enter, if they're not a token, create 2 tokens that are a copy of them. And then, okay, so that's mono green halflings if we were to make them. That's kind of neat, and they're just a big mana dork for mono green halflings. That's nothing wrong with that, but.
With a YouTube music app, you can blend up to 30 artists into one big custom radio station, which means...
Arriba Mami, Jingle Punks. Thorin, Mountain King. When he enters, attaching a number of equipment you control a creature you control. One or more equipments become attached to that creature this way. That creature deals damage equal to its power to one target creature. Well, that's cool in the equipment deck. It only deals damage to creatures, but I can see that being kind of cool. Thorin Company Leader, dwarf type of stuff. But you get treasures for dwarves dealing combat damage to players or battles. Smaug the Magnificent. Whenever he attacks, deals damage equal to the number of treasures you control to any target. If we were doing stuff with those other Smaugs, like we could do... Yeah, let's go back to next page and go down to here. Up here. Where are they? Yeah, if we were making Smaug Wicked Worm and putting the other Smaug in it. this Smaug would definitely be in that deck as well. So it's like another Rakdos treasure deck. Whenever Smaug attacks, and he does it to any target, so that's cool. And he gets you a treasure on your upkeep, so that's cool. Now we have a different Smaug with the 7 Smaug. He has an adventure for 5. He deals 5 damage to target creature. And then he's a flying 5/5 for 7. That's absolute garbage. Oin the Brave. It's also a common legendary. That is ratty tatty garbage. Oin the Brave, storied. As long as you're storied, he's actually a 2/3 instead of a 1/3 and has haste. And then he also rummages. We might make that Smaug deck. Now that I'm thinking about it. Just do stuff with treasures. Glowing the Mighty. At the beginning of your main phase, add double red. There's a green version of that. And then there's Easy Pickings, the worst version of deal 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls I've ever seen, because it costs 3. Gandalf the Red, apparently. 6 mana, 4/3. When he enters, he deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. And then another Gandalf the Red, who has a flame shape that basically allows you to impulsive draw 3 cards face down, and as long as you control a wizard, you can play them. And then he's also like a gutter snipe that gets slightly bigger. Filian Cully, Joyous, Haste. They're a mana dork double red, but it's only for dwarfs, equipments, and sagas. Dory, Bearer of Friends. Trample, and when he enters, you get a treasure. Dame, Ironfoot. He brings his own equipment. Oh, and when he attacks, your equipped creatures get double strike, so that's cool. Bomber doesn't untap unless you're storied. Balin the Lore Master. Dwarf Typal. When he enters, you may discard your hand, draw X card, or X the number of cards discarded this way. And then if you're storied, he deals X damage to each opponent. The only thing I don't like about that is that you have to have a hand full of garbage. The Saxville Bagginses. When they enter, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, you draw a card and create a treasure token. Whenever you sacrifice a token, target opponent loses a life. The Master of Lake Town. Whenever a player loses life, that player mills that many cards. And then when he dies, you draw cards if people have a lot of stuff in their graveyard. Golem the Abandoned. He can't block. When he enters, exile a card from a graveyard, from an opponent's graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. And then you can pay 2, sack a creature, and return them to your hand from your graveyard. Golem the Silent Slinker. He has a adventure to put a +1 counter on a creature and target player gains 2 life. And he's a 4/3 with menace. As Golem enters, choose odd or even. 0 is even. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value of the chosen quality, choose one that hasn't been chosen. +1/+1 counter on Golem. Each opponent loses tile life when you gain 2 life, and draw a card. Okay. There's Azog. We saw him when we were building that other deck. Yeah. Lord of the Eagles costs less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control with flying. That could be an addition to a flying typo deck. He has flash, so that's also good. And of course flying. Gandalf the Blue, board 3. Oh, you can pay 6 to shuffle them into your library and draw 3 cards. That's interesting, I guess. Gandalf Shadow's Foe. A 7 mana blue landfall creature. That's wild. Elrond the Moon Reader. Whenever you activate an ability of a creature, draw a card once a turn. Huh. That's interesting to think about. Bilbo, casting from Not Your Hand is cheaper. But also, when he attacks, you may cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from your graveyard. The artifact will not enter with a finality counter, so he's just rummaging through the garbage. Goodly and not badly.
Hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
Bilbo Luck Wearer.
Oh, this is a fun one.
He has an expensive sorcery. Oh, that pseudo steals. And he can't be blocked, and he loots. That makes sense. I'm gonna mute for a hot second. Okay. Bilbo the Burglar. He has an adventure to scry to. When he enters, you draw a card. Queen of the Dale, we saw her. Ori Plate Stacker. Okay, he's a 7 mana 3/3 that destroys all artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. That's expensive, but kind of neat. Ori, Keeper of Songs. And he just... yeah, that's not... yeah. Kelly the Resourceful. As long as you have an enduring story, you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip turn. And then once a turn, whenever another dwarf or equipment you control enters, draw a card. Dwarfs, totally a thing. Philly the Pathfinder. He's an anthem as long as you're storied. And then whenever him or a non-token dwarf enters, you get a token dwarf. Dane, Lord of the Iron Hills, as long as you have an enduring story. You have a half of a ghostly prison. Bofu, Reliable Guardian, target artifact or creature control hexproof and indestructible, and he has lifelink. That first part was an adventure. Bilbo, Unexpected Adventurer. He can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater, and he's also a Sun Titan. As long as he's dealt combat damage to a player. And then Belladonna took, made it into another deck. So we're going to go down here. We're going to add this Smaug. We're going to add this Smaug just to put a bad card into the deck. Then we're going to this Smaug. And then we're going to... that's the one that's not full. Cool. We're going to sit this one as commander. Yeah. It's kinda obvious. So that also means we can close this one. And also that we gotta rename this one. We're gonna call it Smaugy. S-M-A-U-G. Yep, Smaugy. And then we gotta do this to get the correct... Nope. We gotta do this. There we go. I just want to grab the correct URL. Hold on, one more mute. Uncooperative no stuff happenings. Anyway, so this is mostly... Are there any other Smaugs? There's the Desolation of Smaug. There's Smaug's, and there's Smaug's Fury. Desolation of Smaug deals 3 damage to each non-dragon creature. Add 4 mana of any combination of colors. Spin this mana only to cast dragon spells. That's mildly interesting. Smaug's Fury. Target creature gets plus 0 and gains reach and first strike until end of turn. That's odd. And of course, there and back again is going in here. Up to 1 target creature can't block for as long as you control there and back again. The ring tempts you. Search your library for a mountain, put it into the battlefield. Untapped, for the record. And then we create Smaug, a 6/6 red dragon creature with a token with flying, and that when the creature dies, you create 14 treasure tokens. There, we have now Smauged all the Smaugs that we can do. Combat trick. That's all it's really doing. And then this is Disruption. Boy, that don't look right.
Days away. And of course, your calendar's all good news.
Smaug gets its own category.
Bank account up to 2 days
Which one's this one?
So when your friends are like, and your bills go,
you know what? what? I didn't see that that version didn't tell you what it did.
The best part, there's no monthly service fee for 17 to 24-year-olds, thanks to Chase Secure Banking.
For Chase Secure checking only, eligible.
So let's do Sleepy Smaug, because at least Sleepy Smaug tells us what it does.
Member FDIC.
That is non-foil, wow. And I just missed that there was an ad. Let's see what other dragons care about treasure. T, dragon, O, treasure. I'm not going to do too much in the way of dragon typal, but these are kindred spirits. Wow, this is a very expensive card. Remember to proxy expensive cards. I do have a preference for these shiny gold horde versions. I don't know what to call that treatment. Okay, this has a steel stuff thing on it. We can just ignore that. But this thing creates treasure when it attacks. That's what's important. Gadrak. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. Ganax Astral Hunter. Whenever Ganax Astral Hunter or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you get a treasure. Like I said, I wasn't going to lean into Dragon Tribal or Typal, whatever. Oh, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, and also Myriad. Good way to annoy your enemies, your opponents. The Goldspan Dragon, your treasures are doubly treasury. Okay. When this enchantment enters, destroy up to one target creature. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under an opponent's control this turn, create a treasure token. Then, if you control 3 or more treasures, transform this enchantment. Okay, what is it on the backside? This is FF14, isn't it? Sacrifice another creature artifact. This gets indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Okay, no, we ain't doing that.
Hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
Don't you just think the whole keep having a brat son thing is a bit cringe?
This guy can sacrifice treasures into giving creatures double strike. It's nice to have that option. Now we're just going to look at stuff that cares about treasure. Although honestly, that's such a big thing. That we should have done minus T Dragon, so we don't need to see it again. if you would create a food, clue, or treasure, instead create one of each. Do we really need that? I don't know, that feels like going in a different direction. I do like the black market connections, because we can lose a life and create a treasure. And we gotta go with my boy 8-Ball and Bullseye. I'm still very happy with my mono black party deck, for the record. That black had warriors, rogues, wizards, and clerics. I don't care how good or bad that deck is, I'm still so happy. Still happy that I got to make it.
Your whole family
Descent
can go on
into Avernus.
And bowl a perfect score with your pack and makes game
I'm not sure if I'm going to do that with this deck.
At Great Wolf Lodge, all this excitement is just a short drive away.
That's permanent cards, and
learn more at
tokens aren't
and
permanent cards. Huh. This is a new land. Dragon Cursed Halls. Tap for colorless, or until one in tap until a turn target creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Don't really need that, I just thought it was interesting that it exists. Menace. Ward, sacrifice a creature. +2/+0 for each treasure you control. Whenever one or more players sacrifice one or more creatures, you create a tap treasure token once a turn. I see, you get a treasure token if someone goes to target her, or for any other reason. Evereth is fun. Sacrifice a creature artifact, put a +1/+1 on her. If that was a treasure, she gains lifelink until end of turn. And then when she dies, you can pay 1 in either black or red, and she'll do damage equal to power to each opponent. Sure. That's only once a turn. Feign the Broker. No. Forsworn Paladin. Pay to untap it to create a treasure. Skilled Artisan I do like. Command a creature using control have whenever this creature attacks a player. If no player has more life than that player, you get 2 treasure tokens. Whenever one or more creatures you control... Oh yeah, this is... And the sacrifice treasures. Both of those cards are going in. I'm just doing that. I have a slight feeling that these are not the correct size to go into a deck. But maybe I'm wrong. Boy, there's so many better versions of Heroes for Hire. The Reclusive Painter. When they enter, you get a treasure. But also, other creatures you control enter the battlefield with additional +1 counter for each mana from a treasure spent to cast them. You know, something to do with our treasures. Whenever he attacks, get a treasure, sacrifice 5... Oh, no, he steals stuff. Red Killmonger...
Watch hit movies and TV shows on YouTube.
When he deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices an artifact of their choice, and you get a treasure. He gets +1/+1 for, or +1/+0 for each artifact defending player controls, so that's fine. Oh, good old Knuckles the Akenda. Beginning of combat on our turn, we create a treasure. That basically makes him a dragon. Magda. Both Magdas like the existence of dragons in my deck, but I don't think I'm going to put either one in here. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. You know what? Oh, he has the backwards hand thing. Yeah, they used to call them Rakshasa until they realized that that was not cool. Whenever a creature an opponent controlled dies, exile it with a hit counter on it. Assassins, mercenaries, and rogues you control have death touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a hit counter from a card that player owns in exile. If you do, draw a card and create 2 treasure tokens. Even if she's the only assassin or rogue or mercenary in the entire deck, that's still worth it. Is Mastermind Plum any good? This first part, when he attacks, you can exile a card from a graveyard. If there's an artifact, you get a treasure. But also, when you cast a spell, if you use treasure mana, you draw a card and lose a life. So, yes. If you're doing treasure shenanigans, yes. pitiless plundering. We will professional facebreaker though. I don't know who this is, but they do look cool. Cooler than the one from Final Fantasy. Oh, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player to create that many, I do like that. And it has offspring. And we could theoretically make them bigger, depending on what else goes in this deck. Prosper Tomebound. Can we pick a version that doesn't? That isn't foil? Good. So, at the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. Use a 1/4 with Death Touch. We can all do wrestle. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, get a treasure token.
Your favorite sports are on Paramount.
And at the beginning of your upkeep, you control 10 or more treasures, you win. Let's just throw in this baloney, get everyone mad at you card.
Favorites on YouTube.
But we can tell them we paid $43 for it. You know what? The RMS Titanic creates a whole bunch of treasures, and that's funny. I know it's even funnier that I, like, earlier in the deck, I was like, that feels off theme. I don't even remember what card that was, but I stand by that. Oh, Rose Room Treasurer. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get a treasure for the first and second time, but the third time, you can pay to have this guy punch any target. I'm not doing anything with +1/+1 counters, so I'm not scuzzback scroungering. Like, we're not putting in the Stark Industries executive. Oh, this creates that many trader tokens. We got a Reaver Cleaver. Too bad this one is in non-helpful language. That is the one. That is the one card treatment that I will never say nice things about. And that's the one where they make it completely unreadable. Well, you know what? We may as well treasure map. Because we can sacrifice a treasure to draw a card. You know what? I don't care if it's random. Typhoid Mary is cool. When she attacks, choose one at random. If you've managed to discard a card this turn, you get to choose. Create a treasure, draw a card, or each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. All winners for 3 mana. You know, just on principle, we're putting in the treasure vault. And whenever this attacks, you can pay a life to get a treasure. I'm fine with that. Also, first time I've seen that, even though I'm fairly familiar with Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. And I feel like that would have made it into the mono black rogues deck unless there were better rogues. But I also fairly recall that being one of the harder ones. Zorn, more treasures per treasure. Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, create a treasure. I don't think this is the deck that'd be doing that. Oh yeah, she turns stuff into treasures. But she also costs a lot to bring out. Okay, now that we have the treasure vault, I was about to say you're not a sack outlet, but she is because it's it doesn't have a cost and it doesn't tap. And yes,
your favorite sports are on Paramount Plus on YouTube. Catch the best.
Ken Kuhn, Topher Moore, and Alex Elena. So you are a ramp, and I guess you're also a ramp. That's a lot of conditional ramp. But it's also a lot of stuff that cares about treasures. Dargons. Spelled that way on purpose. Oh, Theron Bakugan is a Smaug, so it goes in the Smaug section. Dargan. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to put more black cards in this deck. That's like gonna be the regular removal. But first let's did we wait, hold on, did we make this is not yeah, the Matsu was also there's, I mean, we could replace Berador with something else, but honestly, copy card names with quantity. Honestly, it's fine as is. Oh, remove Berador because we have that other one. We do have 25 creatures, so I'm happy with that. So we could do more responsible ramp. But I think I am going to... I can't think... Oh, I know what other pieces of Mass Disruption. We at 74? Shattering Spree. And Vandalbee. The two only I get to have artifacts, even though that like does not help, very specifically does not help a non-zero number of my creatures who care about my opponents having artifacts, like the Cavern Horde Dragon and some other dragon. I don't think it's one of these ones. Is it one of the Smaugs? Oh, it's my actual Smaug. It's my commander. But you know what? Sometimes you need to take care of business. Bitter Triumph, cast down, it's not great, but it works. I do like raise the effigy to destroy an artifact or make a creature slightly bigger. I've actually used the make slightly bigger in a one-on-one before. They also had a combat trick, so it didn't go the way I wanted it to, but made them use a combat trick. Go for the throne. Heartless Act. Infernal Grasp. Terminate. I like how they just reprinted Murder. Bilbo commits a murder.
Your favorite sports are on Paramount Plus on YouTube. Catch the best pro golfers.
Summer Nights. The 126ers. Baleful. Jeez. Withering Torment, just in case you really need to be the one to get rid of an enchantment. Not putting in the sorcery speed one. There's another mono black thing. But it looks like it was in the Commander product. There we go. Target player put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. You lose 2 life unless you control a villain. A new nice piece of removal, if you don't mind paying 3, that gets around indestructible. $12, $17, $18. I was wondering if we had enough. 19. No, that's one that we don't cast. 18. If we had enough for that one dwarf with Magecraft. Stormkiln Artist. +1 also for each artifact you control. When you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you get a treasure token. Thought about it. Never mind. 12 cards left. Definitely think we got enough treasure-related stuff. I think I want some responsible ramp. Actually, there's a specific... treasures with an S. Great. 2 tap treasure tokens. Oh, then we can pay 2 to have our treasures cast for double. Although it already costs 4. Oh, Gem Cutter Buccaneer turns our treasures into equipment. But they equip 3 unless you're a pirate. That is mildly interesting, though. Ruthless Knave can sacrifice 3 treasures to draw a card. I'm not sure if that's entirely worth it. Create a treasure token, then if you control 4 or more treasures, sacrifice to Saga to get a 6/6 dragon with flying. That's not particularly interesting or good, but no, it's not particularly good, but the interesting part is that you have 4 turns. So as long as you're not, if you have no other ways to get treasure, you at least have enough turns to make it work. But I wanted to see if treasures with an S came up. Things that are just Smaug can be its own section, and I do want more stuff that is mono black anyway. Of course, now I'm going to look over here. Two pieces of, 4 pieces of responsible ramp. I was thinking about Coin of Mastery, but decided against it. Amulet of Vigor to make sure that our treasures enter the battlefield untapped. I am not entirely concerned about that. Yeah, there they are. Ugh. Since I'm fairly certain... Oh, this could have made it into that blue deck. Since I'm fairly certain... that I'll be making tokens. We're putting in Idol of Oblivion. Doing that, but we will do Virtue of Persistence. Stealing from the graveyard is perfectly acceptable. And that also is much more on theme than putting in that one Shieldred. I guess Reign of Riches for the Cascade. Two more cards. And Descent into Avernus because that's from some secret layer or another. This just to get it in there. Deadly Relic just to finish the deck. There we go. And I put that over here, right? Yep. Sweet. So I'm glad I made this deck without going into Dragon Typal, even though there are a bunch of dragons in here. Next time we will be going into Typal stuff, I guess, because, yeah, this was a small set. I hope people care. See you then.